All right, let's dive into something that can be a real headache. Something that honestly stops thousands of people dead in their tracks every single year. You've got an official document from the US, maybe it's your birth certificate or your diploma, and you need to use it in another country. Sounds simple, right? Well, it can turn into an absolute bureaucratic nightmare really fast.
So why is that? Why won't another country just accept your US birth certificate or your diploma or maybe an FBI background check? I mean, just picture this. You land your dream job in Paris or you're planning this incredible wedding in Rome. Everything's going great, and then bam, your plans hit a total brick wall. The foreign government looks at your official US documents and just says, "Nope, sorry, we can't accept this." So, how in the world do you break through that wall? Well, the answer is a special kind of certification. And the best way to think about it is this. You have a passport to travel, right? Your documents kind of need one too. And this is the key to unlocking their validity across any border. And that passport is called an apostille. You say it like apostille. It's actually a French word for certification, which is pretty much exactly what it is. An apostille is a separate certificate that gets physically attached to your original document. Its whole job is to verify that the signature of the public official and the seal on your document are legit. Think of it like an official handshake between countries that says, yep, this piece of paper is the real deal. Okay, so what kinds of documents actually need this special treatment? You might be surprised. The list covers pretty much any official paperwork you can think of that you need to use overseas. The range of documents is huge. We're talking about the most personal moments of your life, like birth and marriage certificates, all the way to critical legal papers like court orders and your academic achievements. A really common one is the FBI background check. That's often a major requirement for anyone looking to work or live abroad. And here's the good news. It doesn't matter where your document came from in the United States, whether it was issued by your home state, say California, or a federal agency in Washington, D.C., there is a clear path to getting it authenticated. The process exists for all of them, you just have to know which path to take. Okay, now here's where it gets really crucial. The process is not the same for every country. The very first question you have to ask is, where is my document going? Because believe me, the answer to that question changes everything. So way back in 1961, a bunch of countries got together to make this whole process way, way simpler. They created what's called the Hague Convention, which is basically an agreement to accept a single standardized certificate, the apostille, from any other country that's also a member. This was a total game changer for cutting through international red tape. So as you can see, this creates two very different paths you might have to take. If your document is heading to a Hague Convention member country, you just need an apostille. It's simpler and it's faster. But if it's going to a non-Hague country, well, the journey gets a lot longer. You're going to need something called federal authentication and embassy legalization, which is much more complex and honestly leaves a lot more room for things to go wrong. And this brings us to where so many people run into trouble. This whole process is incredibly precise. I mean, even one tiny mistake can get your entire application rejected, which can lead to massive, frustrating delays. These right here are the most common landmines. First up, improper notarization, and we're definitely going to circle back to this one because it is so important. Another big one is submitting a photocopy instead of an original certified copy, especially for things like birth certificates. Or something as simple as a missing signature on a power of attorney can just stop the whole process in its tracks. And finally, sending your document to the wrong government office. You'd be surprised how often that happens. Okay, I really want to pause on this for a second because it is, without a doubt, the most important thing to get right. One incorrect signature, a missing seal, or the wrong wording from a notary, and your entire application gets thrown out. Getting the notarization done perfectly from the very start is absolutely critical if you want to avoid rejection. So you can see, with all these complexities and all these risks, a lot of people look for help to navigate the process. And using a professional service can really turn this confusing, stressful maze into a much, much clearer path. The options really just come down to your timeline. If you're on a super tight deadline, an expedited service can get this done in just a day or two. For less urgent needs, there are standard options that are more affordable. But just look at that timeline for non-Hague countries that need federal authentication. We're talking 4 to 6 weeks. That's a long time to wait. This chart really puts it into perspective, doesn't it? Look at that difference. We're not talking about saving a few days here. We're talking about potentially saving weeks or even months of waiting. For anyone on a tight deadline, for a visa, a new job, or some kind of legal matter,
That difference is absolutely everything. So how does a service like this work? Well, it's designed to be super simple for you. You start by getting a quote from a specialist who knows exactly what your document needs for your specific destination country. Then they lay out your options with clear timelines. Once you decide, you just ship your documents using a prepaid label. And that's it. All the complicated, confusing legwork is handled for you.
And it goes way beyond just the apostille itself. Do you need a document properly notarized? They can handle it, sometimes even remotely online. Need it translated? They can get you certified translations in over 100 languages. Need to ship it back overseas? They manage that too. It's really a complete end-to-end solution to the whole problem. Whew. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground, from what an apostille even is to all the pitfalls you need to avoid. So let's bring it all together and really focus on the one thing you absolutely have to remember from all of this. If you walk away with just one single piece of information, please let it be this. And yeah, it's so important we're saying it again. The entire process hinges on getting that notarization perfect. Any little mistake can completely derail your plans. Getting it right the first time isn't just a suggestion. It is the only way to guarantee this all goes smoothly. So as you're thinking about your own plans, that new job, that family matter, that huge move abroad, ask yourself this one question. Is my paperwork truly ready to be accepted on the other side of the world? Because making sure it is might just be the most important step you take.